Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Soplexba, and in today's video we have the first game of the FNCS Champions Series qualifier for the EU region. And in this game, Benjyfishy gets eliminated straight away when he lands. How unlucky is that? Check it out guys. Make sure you watch till the end to see if Benjyfishy gets rebooted. It also features Mr. Savage. Can either of these top players get Victory Royale?
CS Season 6.
And you're talking about shortcuts, we're on new paths now. It's all about the top three. It's a very different game that we've kind of been watching for almost a year now. Completely new stakes on the board, and Benji's the first one to land a shot and get clapped back. No way it starts like this. Everything is different. Clement just takes them out.
Oh my goodness, this is the kind of battles and skirmishes that you find here at Pleasant Park. And already, Benji, Amplify, and Matzo in the hurt, but hey, Matzo claps back. Clement goes down. This is going to be a scrummy fight here, Shio.
Yeah, well, at least one teammate down on both sides. Matzo, though, all the way back up in all the HP. Mats are everywhere, forced down to the basement. It's getting cold, it's getting dark and quiet now for this team. Their star clutch player is no longer alive for the off-spawn fight.
Wow, that was so intense. This is basically the strong side of Pleasant Park with the addition of the bunker chest. You know, anyone that plays pubs and arenas, no matter what, that yellow house is vital. Looks like Amplify and Matzo were able just to hold that off for a minute. And here we go to the other side on the map here at Steamy Stacks. We have Resguard Savage, and we're expecting some fireworks here, but so far quiet.
Yeah, kind of the other side of the coin of kind of the early game competition we'd like to see, right? Pleasant, contested. We have fights at Sweaty as well, but Steamy, Misty, some of these big spots have big names like Savage, Resguard, and Dreda, who will have a much different game, alive, well, and looting for the majority of the early game.
Looks like that battle at Retail Row is going towards the way of Void's trio so far, picking up 2 elims right then and there. From the analyst desk, that was a battle kind of drop spot that we all have to keep our eyes on, and just to keep an eye on the zones as well. It looks like it's going to be up into this corner here at the Steamy Stacks, and when that is a factor here for Savage, Resguard, and Dreda, that just gives them free reign to go out there and push a trio.
Yeah, free reign, free time. They'll have a lot to loot, and looting's kind of changed now, Sancho, in the earlier portions of Fortnite. While we watch this fight kind of go a little bit of a stalemate vibe towards lazy, it's all about, you know, tracking NPC quests, working for gold, and making up all the crafting parts you can get in your POI to upgrade your guns. You'll see Vortex already has those upgrades from makeshift to mechanical, AR, and the pump. His guns are going to be doing mega damage and going to be very accurate. So he's the point man right now. Almost out of mats, though. There'll be an all-in here towards Knight's trio.
I'm taking a look at the Elim Fid. Looks like Ghosty was able to overcome Wolfie's trio again, so it's kind of crazy. A lot of action happening all over the map here. Let's see who's going to get the first opening action here in the Lazy Lake. So far, HP is about the same, Shield's about the same, looking for angles, and Stasio's trio is going into their hard mats. There's going to be a strong defensive stance here. It's going to be very difficult for Vortex's trio. You're seeing all I can do to crack this tortoise shell that's happening right here. I wonder how many animal reference we'll get into today. That's already one for me.
Might get into a few more right now, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Vortex just because of the makeshift potential, all the shots close range down below. He's keeping his distance, just rattling on these mats, looking for control before he pounces in. His other teammates are being a lot more aggressive. He finally gets a little bit of a wall down, still not taking too many risks. Goes for a big shot around the corner and does get Paxi down. Stasio's down too. Knight with a big return as well, and that is a trio wipe.
Eventually, the shell will crack right then and there. They were knocking it. It was just too much pressure for him to handle. And this is another battle out here in the Colossal Crops. As you can see, everything's gone primal, gone back into the ages of the Fortnite lore. This is actually a Bony Bird. So, hey, another kind of going back into time. No longer Tilted Towers, no longer Neo. It's all primitive right here. And this is a big fan as Desolator, as we have seen go down to Sweaty Sands, has decided to go to Bony Birds to kind of contest Hydro here. Hydro with the high ground is about to get chopped. Gonna get a retreat here for this moment, but it's all up to Offscene here to kind of turn the tide for this favor here. The Lone Warrior gets has so far 2 Elim points on the board and eliminated right then and there. Hey, that is high. This is Hydro's spot. They know this really well, and we've been seeing Desolator throughout the entire round 3. They kind of been nomadic. They've been all over the place. Like I mentioned, we thought they were to contest Nate's trio down at Sweaty Sands. But we all know that if you could contest Tayson and Nate in 4ZR, that won't be a good ending as well.
You see the similarities too between where Refsguard is and Bony Burbs in itself. There's very open spots. You just notice there. You know, you kind of have to all in after a few tags. Not that easy to just kind of run around and get things down for free.
Hey, man, if Fortnite had some kind of a guesser type game for location, I would have not done well right there. I would have failed. I would have been like a couple of miles away from Colossal Crops there for Boney Burbs.
Very similar looking POIs, but something that hasn't changed is Dirty Docs, not only in stature, size, and shape, but the fact that there's always two teams contesting in these builds in the early games, going all the way up high for fights. Always one lone watchtower wolf. This time it's Egram. Looking at him, Michael, Mexi, and Virox. I think the favors to win outside in this POI, they're kind of the second best team here. The other one being Anas, Thomas HD, and Flick. So good out of this spot. But this time it's going to be these guys showing how they're going to take things by storm.
Also, just to point out, we have bows in the game. That is a makeshift bow in Michael's inventory. Snipers have been vaulted, so any kind of long-range engagements, any kind of big-time hits or highlight hits, you will see from an arrow drawn from a bow.
Right now, there is something actually developing within these fights. Kibo's found his way up the backside, looking all the way up top.
I see it.
So you could have an angle on Virox down below in just a second. Unfortunately, it's all metal down below. It's not going to amount to much right now. There's too many fully built metal builds at the moment. Unless Michael, Mexi, Virox make a move, it's going to be done.
Something I've been noticing, a lot of crouch play has been implemented this season. A lot of players exploring that option, the sneakiness, that ambush abilities in builds.
Still kind of easy to track from Michael to all the way up top. Now they'll rattle over to builds. Michael's not going to get found out first. He makes the first move. It's going to be stalemate on both ends. I feel like for this, the worst thing that's happening right now is just no developments on both ends. Yeah, Michael's jumping up for a few shots here and there, but it's all three players on the same side. That means they have an ultimate defense on peaks, but no fluidity in trying to gain space. Now Virox is pushing for it. 18 builds. Can he make it up top is a big question. Michael's made it. Virox is a distraction. Mexi's far away. He can land the beams.
Oh, it gets chopped. Okay, so this is the kind of fight they could take here because zone's over here, Shio. So they could take this fight. They could take the time, and they're gonna have the ability to loot once this is over. But still, Virox is out. Mex and Michael. Michael does have that purple pump in his back pocket. He could release it right here. Goes through the window attic, but too much pressure is coming in from all sides when the soft bats come out. That means it's just a matter of time before you go down. Now it's up to Mexi to hold on true. Mexi gets cracked, and Mexi is out. Ingram, what a big time statement right there, considering Virox was practically coded into Dirty Dogs, it feels like, considering that that's where he always went since its induction.
I just like the overall defensive play there on all three players staying on the same layer, on the same builds. Even when they got taken over by Michael, they understood exactly where each other were and have to actually split it down. A nice trade back and forth. They end up winning it out right now at Lazy, though. Jamside is pushing in what I assume was Misty Meadows, looking for even more fights. They are kitted up to the teeth. Big ammo counts, big guns as well. Mentals will be looking to hunt for this next shot.
This is going to be the dangers of having long fights here. Can the Lazy Lake trio survive the push for Misty Meadows? And we all know Alex out there in Caddy Corner could show up. They tend to avoid early engagement here. As you already see in the feed, they actually rotated down to retail row as they pick up a knock against Ghosty.
Everyone's just being really careful right now. It's every single trio playing right beside each other, not really taking many risks to peek or to go for shots. Especially true at Lazy. The first time someone lands a bullet, fight ends up just finishing in just a few seconds. There is the big shot that lands through. As we watch that, though, we'll watch the rotation as well on the northern side of the map. It's 4ZR, Tayson, and Nate who've moved from Sweaty down to Boney and then clashed with Benji.
Talk about a collision of titans here in rotations. They're going to be rotational partners at the entire way. It's like, essentially, you have a travel buddy, right? But this travel buddy is not very friendly. They're going to try to find tags as much as possible. They're not going to really try to box fight. They know a little bit better, but hey, if they're seeing an opportunity, Tayson's not afraid to go in, and that's what we're going to have here. This is going to be a very dangerous box fight here so far away from zone.
I like the decisions there from both teams.
It's a pretty good one. I like it too.
Yeah, you were calling that they basically weren't going to actually attack each other. I think Tayson was on that vibe, but then he saw that Benji wasn't really responding back, so he went to test the box. Quickly found out exactly who he was dealing with, and he was like, all right, we'll take the right here. You guys go left. See you at the end of the fork. Meanwhile, though, nothing here yet at all. Looks like actually Jamside loses one teammate. Yeah, Dementos is down. Reboot's there, but it's not going to be possible at this point. 24 seconds. Him and Fury have to run and maybe pick up Dementos at some other point.
And there it is. The effects of taking engagements here, as you're seeing Rifla getting a knock on Paco. Paco having a new trio this season.
This game will be very different for EU in general. It's because of what's happening at Dirty right now. Another team rolling in. Surat's here for more fights. Foxy's work's not done. Usually the guys at Dirty have so much control over the central mountains of the map. With these fights going on over and over again, it's basically open season. You thought that the loot pool, everything changed up because it's primal. The map is even more barren now because this Dirty Docks team has not left their POIs. So we'll see if Fury have basically a free rotation. Maybe him and Jamside can pick up Dementos in just a bit. We'll see Savage having more control of the map as well. This team needs to wake up though and get out of Dirty, get clean, get a nice spot on a mountain somewhere close by.
Hey man, but what a way to wake up to this alarm. They have basically 6 elims. This kind of plays into their favor. They don't have to worry about Storm Surge. Now they just have to be sure they replenish themselves, loot up, get as many heals and shields as possible because they already expended. Look at that. Look at that big build that you see right there on the left side of your screen, folks. A lot of it's already expended, but now they're going to have to loot, and all eyes are now on them as you see another trio out in the distance. But here's a trio that a lot of people have been picking to do well here. Remember, the winner of the first qualifier went on to do well, and I think they got the whole thing right at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, Steamy is just an insane POI. When it comes to being uncontested, it's huge as well. If it's your guys' first time watching Fortnite, it's kind of different in how comp breaks down. It's not the same typical public match you guys are playing. It's all about just gaining control at this point in the game, the second and third zone. If it's at the top of the crane, the top of the mountain, you want to look for shots, stay ahead of Surge. That's exactly what Savage and Dreda and Rescard are doing. They have such a good spot. Usually they're sharing kind of the same targets as a Dirty Docks trio, but as we mentioned before, they're not there, so they're kind of kings of the Eastern Castle, so to speak. Meanwhile, right now, no one really holds the throne with Benji and Tayson's rotation path. It's just rough on both sides.
This is kind of the dangerous rotation that could kind of trip up both trios here. They're gonna have to figure out, is it worth? I mean, they could essentially alpha them out of this rotation. But similar minds, that's what we've been seeing throughout the entire Fortnite, is everyone starts having the same kind of mentality about how to rotate, when to rotate. And now Benji's going to turn face and try to third party into this. As Keswick is down below. Valkyrie and Nakos, they're coming all the way from Coral Castle here. So this trio has been rotating all together throughout the entire map here. And now some shots are ringing out, and Nate's in trouble with a Stinkfish. That Stinkfish could cause a lot of white damage here on Tayson's trio.
That has a larger cloud, harder to get away from. While it was all going down, though, 4ZR did slip into the boxes below. Falconly picking up that one. The shakedown comes through, too. They'll set him up for maximum surge damage, and they know that Tayson and Nate are right above them. These are 3 top-tier teams that we're watching right now. We have Benji, Matzo, Amplify. It's a very concrete team that knows exactly what each player's role is. We have one of the most interesting teams to watch as well with Falconly and Nakos with Keswick. These guys are basically coming in off of 3 different trios, all kind of misfits, all with such unique play styles, and now just playing the game. Qualifier 1, round 4. Meanwhile, up top, Nate 4ZR, Qualifier God Sancho pairing up with Tayson. You're looking at people who are used to winning back to back to back in these types of games, and now they have one of the best fighters on the planet, one of the best pushers too. Every single team here, including the one on screen right now, are behemoths.
It kind of feels this is the theme, right? You have some trios that have been together throughout the entire time. As you see, Analex's trio came in 4th place in the previous FPCS. And then you have people with like just substituting one, like a duo sticking together, substituting one, like we saw last season with Benji and Matzo and Amplify, picking up Benji, of course. And then you, like you mentioned, misfits, just people coming from all different kinds of trios, scrambling all together. We've been seeing, tweets on social media, people looking for trios last minute. But sometimes that last minute, like you mentioned, kind of that chaotic energy could synchronize and synergize into a great placement here. Again, top 3 is what we're looking here, folks.
Yeah, that entire conversation once again of, top 3 going straight over towards grands. It's just like, it's wild to think of. Usually it's like, top 7, top 10. We had very different, close to double-digit situations in the past. But at the same time, right, now it's not like that anymore. Now it's really about the upper echelon pushing all the way towards the top. So we're going to take it a lot more seriously. The scariest part about this spot as well, in past seasons, it's really easy to end up shooting here, getting big damage down in the position you are with Savage. Now with the bows, it's so much scarier to go and over peak your builds and look for shots. They're silent, they come from long distance. Seems like they're kind of easier to shoot and they do big damage.
Big time damage, as we're seeing a big time engagement right here as Alpha Blaster and Nikop are coming all the way from Craggy Cliffs. So this kind of a rotation, they run right into Benji, Matzo, Amplify, and Benji, Matzo, and Amplify do not want to be here. They rack in most of their points at the end game. So this is going to be a big time engagement for them to survive, because if they get to end game, they're always dangerous, and Benji gets bopped right then and there. The purple pump just not enough. And now Amplify and Matzo have to move on as that duo that had been together for such a long time. But against this trio, it's going to be very difficult. As you can see, Zone 4 has been revealed, and not a lot of people alive in that zone right now, Shayo.
Yeah, splinters and cracks all around from trio to trio. There's still 24 left right now, but it seems like all these top tier ones, every single one we expected to do well, has lost one of their teammates rolling into the game.
And that's what we're going to expect here. Last time we had in the FNCS, you're going to see solo performances. You're going to see pop-offs. But, you know, in Season 4, you saw those solo clutches because the power of that pump shotgun was able to ring true. Some craziness like we're seeing the NA East with Day doing some insane things. That's where you're going to see again. Typically last season, the power of the shotgun wasn't there. A lot of people got overwhelmed when there were a solo or sometimes even a duo. So, hey, even though Benji's gone, Matzo and Amplify, as a duo, they could still gain in some valuable points. At the same time, maybe win the whole thing here in the first match here.
We saw that stat on screen earlier on. It was all about the elims for these guys. Almost had, what's it called? More than 5 every single game. So
yes,
now rolling into this one with this zone, everyone's actually outside of it, so they have to move in. Red Squad has one of the best positions on the map right now too within the zone, but there's only one team that's really up top on a mountain looking in one of the best spots. We'll see them in just a second. Look at this base though. Snagged, Savage, Amplify, Pablo, so many different names here. Savage is looking high and dry in this one with Andretta. Everyone right now 400 damage above Storm Surge almost, so they'll just watch and wait, maybe go for a few more tags here and there. Not really looking to all in anything so far.
Taking a look here, 9 full trios are already gone. So like you mentioned, Shia, a lot of duos and solos out there running around. Joe getting a complete elim on Ghosty here. Crizzy goes down here from Gogos. Gogos a new name, trying to make a way up to the finals here, but Savage is creating so much pressure, looking for that refresher with that valuable harpoon. You're taking a look at the inventory from Savage. Not a big power weapon in that blue pump, but that's the power of the harpoon. What a phenomenal upgrade to that purple pump.
Yeah, and the reason the loot's all down there is because Matzo is the sole survivor of him and Amplify clashing and crashing into Snag's trio. So they go 1 for 3. But it's just Matzo now left over. And, you know, they're kind of on the same record as yesterday. 6 elims, still have a lot of points. 17 in total right now. With this rotation, it's just him. It's 1 player's worth of mats against 3. He is down 2 whole tiers compared to every other squad.
And the difference from last season is placement points already doled out. Last season, placement points were doled out in the top 17. So Matzo could survive this rotation. He'll get some valuable placement points. So that's going to be a big factor as well. And also in that top 3, we'll keep an eye on his placement points are different as well. There wasn't that big jump between 4th place and 3rd place. We'll get to that soon. Right now, we're going to keep an eye on these engagements right now. Can Analyx, Snazzy, and Xweez, who tend to pop up in in-game, they haven't got a single point because they're waiting. As you can see, they have a great opportunity to rotate and maybe still hype away from Moss's trio.
For leaderboards and ladders, it's all about being close to the top. It's very similar for this zone as well. We're going straight to a mountain. The higher you are, the more power you have, the better you feel. That's what everyone is rushing towards. Everyone down below is way more scuffed. In poverty, basically. They're forced to fight each other. Ref's guard going down. Savage and Andretta were such in a good position before, but now everything looks doomed. He finds Andretta, though, for the pickup. Harpoon's on his walls. What's happened here? This is catastrophic.
So much pressure happening right now. And Dreda's gone. Savage, the DreamHack champion from Anaheim. A lot of people out there on the social media were saying he is the best player in the world. Doesn't really have the opportunity to kind of show it as a trio. He's gonna have to do it as a solo now. But so much pressure is happening. You've seen the beams coming from right flank here and save it. He's gonna have to get off this layer, get off the layer and move up as fast as possible. But now it's just a matter of moments, because look at the pull that he has here at Zone 6. This is the first moving zone. You always just play pubs in Fortnite. Right now, the zone is just going to move into the storm. So this is going to make things a lot difficult for anybody, especially Savage being a solo.
It's all about religious fractions today, because none of these god trios are whole. It is absolutely disastrous for every single top team. There's Matzo and Savage beside each other. The teammates, the prestige, not there beside them anymore, you know, in terms of the potential they have to end up winning this game. Egram, Kibo, and Vox will end up moving forward. Everyone's now on a steep incline to move up this mountain. But remember what I said before, the higher you are, the more power you have. It's Wanless, Podesai, with Ro, who are looking so good all the way up top. They have the control. They have the decisions to make on how to stop teams from moving forward.
A lot of this lobby here is going to get buried by that mountain that you're talking about. Everyone on the low ground is working their way up as fast as possible. In this kind of meta, not a lot of movement, no bouncers, no launch pads, anything like that. You're going to have to tarp your way up, and you're seeing on these rotations, Matzo, who is, oh my goodness, I was going to say, who is the tarper for his trio, knows how to navigate that. But hey, when you're by yourself, that just puts you a big bullseye on your back. And like you mentioned, Wanless and Podesai are sitting at height looking good.
XP Snazy and Alex. They're used to going for height a little bit, and new kind of play style they were developing and trying to try in some cash cups, some other third-party places. Now rolling true with their mid-ground prowess. This is where we're used to seeing this trio thrive. They might go for the take a little bit. They might move a little bit closer towards second height right now, to the right in front of the first Sparta zone, all the way towards the center of it, or all the way towards the front of it. And they're looking good to actually take this natural low ground that's also going on a second hill.
Now it's basically washing back over. So that gives Podesai Wanless an opportunity to send more beams, but look at all they have to work through. So they're not going to be able to get a lot of elims. So expect them to kind of hope for the victory royale, and maybe all one down low have to be on soft mats. But look how AD and Astro Hardfire are moving together as a trio.
They kind of found their way out of the dirt, but now they're up into metal walls.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough.
Different world. It's all steel works. They're looking for big shots. There it is. The first one lands from ADN. Looking for more. Trying to go all the way past the walls, but they can't actually break through or go by. It's so close. 2 seconds. One. The harpoon pushes, but there's no shot.
No,
and they all go down. 8 zone now. Kha'Zix finds a pick. Juan is still up top with Podesai. They're just a duo. No trio here. They're kind of rattling down on a Snazy, Alex, and a Squeeze. Nothing happening there, but there's a new contender who's here to play. We'll see Blaster, Nikov, and Alpha ready to get a spot to the top 2.
Just shows you how deadly that terrain is. Just a little bit, just caused that squeeze, and they couldn't get through their boxes here. Podesai 1, they have enough ammo to kind of put the damage down, but can Wanless hold it down? When you have a trio like that, knocking on the front door is like Squeeze and Snazy, and Alex here, but Snazy gets beamed from height. The beams are so strong, and Alex goes down too. Holy!
You have to be picture perfect in these situations. It's not going to be the case for Alex so far. Nikov's chasing Squeeze under the storm and actually finds the pick as well. So he lives for a little bit longer, but he goes almost down, finds a flopper, it looks like, with a siphon. He's still healing up inside the zone. There's a second team besides him, also alive right now. We'll see Wishy down below with Eric trying to survive, passing right beside Nikov. It's 3 different teams, 2 duos, and then the Clutchmeister Nikov himself trying to live too. Will he be found out is the question. But she's looking backwards, but they're getting rattled all the way from up top. Podesai can end this game, but they haven't landed a single shot yet. Nikov goes out and out to 2v2.
Podesai and Wanless, who's been sitting in high for the entire time, only have 2 elims. So this is going to be big now. They're going to have to get this victory royale just to make that height play work now. This is the opening moments here of day 1 of season 6 here. Round 4, the first opportunity to get on top of the boards right here. Wishy and Eric going against Podesai and Wanless here. Going across old builds here. So the intensity is going to pick up. 2 elims for Eric. Wishy with no elims right now. Low mats too, Shio.
Yeah, but it's going lower and lower, and they find a body with more mats. Wishy takes a big shot. So it's basically all up to Eric. In about 10 more seconds, Wishy will go down to the zone. It just takes 1 tick. They're on the wall. Big shot comes through. Wishy, can you
wait a minute.
You can't. The pressure from Podesai is too high, and they end up the winners of game number 1.
Whoa, what a